Alright guys, so we have mowed all of our alfalfa and a little over 160 acres. So I'm just taking our T8 hooked up to our New Holland baler. We have a field 3 and field 18 merged, and then we'll let course play go ahead and finish merging field 44, the north and south part of it for us. So we got nice merged windrows here. We just unfolded our currently we've baled 231 bales. I adjusted the yield of my alfalfa. So it'll be interesting to see what our yields are like. I toned it down a little bit, so we got our nice alfalfa bales here. Different texture. I adjusted some lines on my map to get my alfalfa to 10-inch spacing, and looks a lot nicer now. See, we have 18 completely merged as well, and we started doing our mowing and merging around, I don't know, probably like 5:30ish. So we've been working quite a while on this. It is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon or so in game. Probably going to be working all the way up till the evening to get all of this baled, merged and baled. We're not using it for any kind of animal production or feed. We're simply baling this and selling it to eager buyers. And it's going to be nice for some influx of cash, because we have less than $5,000 in the bank account right now. We have no debt, so it's not a big deal if we have to take out a loan or anything. But if we sell a couple trailer loads of alfalfa bales, we'll be sitting pretty good. It should carry us over to harvest time, which is about 2 weeks away for the rest of the crops. So we'll have our harvest going on as well as another crop of alfalfa. by that point. So I like the idea that I turned these 3 fields into alfalfa, and took them out of the other crop rotation just because it gets to be a lot to disc grip and manage, and so putting these 3 fields into alfalfa production gives us a nice influx of cash when otherwise there's nothing else going on. Nice change of pace from spraying and harvesting and doing all the cultivation and chisel plowing, so saves us a lot of money on seed and fertilizer and a lot of hours on our tractors. So we're at 165-ish acres into alfalfa production, so nothing too spectacular, but saves a lot of time in tillage. You can see the Oxbow merger does a wonderful job making nice 22-meter swaths for us. Nothing else available can make that kind of swath. So, trying to be as efficient as possible. We're gonna down to this far windrow and work our way back. So I'm not quite sure what our bale count will be on these 3, well actually 4 fields. 44 has the north and south part of it. They're 2 separate fields. One should actually be field 45, but anyways, I think since the last video, Giants released the Farm Sim 17 computer generated trailer, but there's also been some information that's confirmed about the new game. I mean, you can change, it's kind of turning into more of what you would expect from a modern game. Now you can kind of choose your character, male, female. There's a different game mode where I'm not really sure if I understand it completely, but I think it's you can assign people goals. I'm not sure if it's multiplayer or like in-game help or whatever it is, but I guess. And then there was some discussion about contracts, tasks, different things. So then there's new crops. You get your sunflower and soybean now as a default in-game crop, which is great. Nothing spectacular. I have that in my map right now, and it's been in the game since, I don't know, since Farm Sim 09. But finally they're adding some extra fluff stuff in as a core part of the game. I think there was some discussion about new animals. I'm not really sure what else is going on. Obviously new vehicles, new lighting, sharper, better textures, more crisp textures, I guess. What I'm most excited about is the lighting. I did see that they're confirmed the new light shader engine has been updated, revamped, whatever that means. I have no idea. The thing that I'm most looking forward to or waiting on before everyone's getting exciting over this computer generated trailer, which the game is going to look nothing remotely close to that. So whatever. Cool computer generated effects, I guess. But I like to see them do a real in-game video trailer not to deceive, but to enlighten us on what it's going to be like with a day in, most certainly an evening, a night trailer. I know Kettle and Crops did that, and their lighting way they have their light setup seem to be far superior. So that's what I'm waiting for, is an actual in-game video showing us these new enhanced improvements. I'm still gonna get the game because it's what, like $35? Who really cares? And it's obviously gonna be improved on this game, FS15. You know, FS17 is obviously gonna be the best and most improved version yet. And hopefully there's some improvements in physics and stuff like that. So nothing really big. No new big changes that will, you know, really change the core fundamentals of the game. You know, drastically. That, I mean, you can change your character, your male, female. Okay, cool. There's a little bit different game mode. There, you know, they need to elaborate a little bit more on that, but that does sound promising to give it a little bit more, like employee, you know, maybe a smarter hired helper kind of thing. I don't know. But there is quite a few things they're implementing we've never seen before. So I guess that's exciting. But I mean, how good it is and how in depth and how advanced, and you know, it could be something super simple. Who knows? But making ourselves some nice bales. But I do believe that they're going to start listening to us, the more dedicated, I'm not going to say hardcore, but more, you know, the people that like to play the game a little bit more realistically, not the people that, you know, kind of play in Farm Sim as an arcade mode. Just drive around and like, whatever, it's more of a vehicle simulator for them than it is a realistic farm simulator. But when they posted that survey of what they would like to see in the new farm sim game, I mean, I wish they would just implement all of it. I mean, what are you waiting for? I mean, people are still gonna buy the game. I mean, you can only keep on improving. It's never gonna end. There's always gonna be something you can improve on the game. But, I mean, compared to 13 was literally the biggest joke. Without the more realistic engine by Durrell, the game, literally, you just throw it away. It's worthless. So they made quite significant improvements, physics and lights and stuff like that. How the crops act and textured. So I am pretty excited to see how they advance those changes in 17 even further. Vehicles, you know, I'm not really that excited about new vehicles. It's mostly all European stuff, but I would like to see them generate a nice mid-level tractor, 200 to 290 horsepower, like a New Holland or Case or something like that. Something more than 160 horsepower and something less than 320. You know, something in that 200 or so, 215, 230. That would be really nice. I would like to see the issue. I don't know why. I mean, in 11 and 13, as far as I know, there was no there was no limitation on how many wheels you can have with components. Now if you have something that has more than 6 components and more than 10 wheels, the game itself like doesn't know how to how that even works. It gives you an error. But if you have less than 6 components, you can have as many wheels as you want. Anyways, I want to see what our bale count is. So we got 46 bales out of that. I believe it's around 10 acres. So not too shabby. Driving down the road with a bale sticking out. I just eject those bales. Figure out how to do that. The only downside to 17 is waiting for script documentation and stuff like that. That's always the worst part of the new game. Is waiting for them to release the official in-game scripts. Okay, so field 3 we ended up with 46. Now start chiseling away at field 18 here. I'm actually thinking of getting a steering wheel. I looked at that steering wheel and joystick combo from Saytech, the farm sim one, and it just looks like total shit. Cheap plastic junk. So I know Logitech makes some nice steering wheels, but I do like using my mouse. But I think a steering wheel would be steering wheel and pedals might actually be fun. But I'll probably hold off on wait on that until I have an actual reason to use it. I mean, I don't really have a good place to put it on my desk, really, is the main reason why I haven't purchased a steering wheel. I don't really have any room to clamp it onto my desk, and I'd always be taking it on and off. What I would like to see is Giants release gonna clean up this corner here. I would like to see Giants release an implement that actually flexes with the ground. You know, besides a windrower, I'm talking like a cultivator or stuff like that. Because as far as I know, the only flexing implements are the mowers and the windrowers. Everything else is rigid. Planters, cultivators. So I'd like them to kind of elaborate or expand upon the individual component flexing with the terrain. Well, and another thing is there's going to be console support for Xbox and PlayStation, I guess, and multiplayer. I mean, not that that really pertains to me, because I don't even know where my 360 is anymore. Had it in high school and college, and I have literally no idea where it is anymore. I think I got rid of it actually. So haven't touched that in probably 8 years. Anyways, in there for consoles, it's also going. There's support for modding on consoles too, I guess. So that will be interesting to see how that works, because I'm not sure how you would run I don't. You may have to. I don't know how that's gonna work. Where they're gonna allow mods. There'll probably be like mods submitted to Mod Hub or something. The Giants Mod Hub. Otherwise, because I'm sure it's a completely different file format than a zipped file for PC. Anyways, but I guess that's available. Makes the game for consoles less pathetic. Yeah, I heard a rumor that the new animal is going to be a pig. So that will be interesting. There must be some way to send them to slaughter, I guess. There's some way to transport, maybe. I don't know. A lot of speculation. It would be nice to have that ability to like have breeding and fattening and being able to trailer animals and bring them to a sell point. I mean, we have scripts. I have it in this map right now, but it's kind of goofy. It's kind of complex, and it would just be nice to have that built into the core game itself. And another thing would be multiple separate navigation meshes, so you can have like cows show up at different farms and stuff like that. So again, a lot of potential. I like to see that they're slowly but surely making progress. They're putting in a little bit of effort to address that. I don't expect them to make tremendous strides, but at least they're beginning to focus on that aspect. So, and I 100% contribute. Let me see here. We'll go this way. I contribute that in these changes and updates to cattle and crops. I mean, there's really no explanation for Giants to take, make any kind of changes other than the occasional new vehicle. But I'm glad it's happening. Because, I mean, honestly, this is really the only game I've played. I've played other games. I played Call of Duty, Need for Speed, Gran Turismo, what else? Skyrim, Star Wars: The Old Republic, but I never really like stick with those games. You play them for like a month maybe, or a couple weeks, or you log a couple hours in and then you're done. You never go back to them. There's no consistent draw to keep playing it, where this game, Farm Sim, yeah, it's agriculture, it's farming, which I enjoy. I find fascinating the equipment, the engineering, the even horticulture, but it's very sandboxy. It has a very sandbox feel to it. It allows you to personalize the game. You can literally build a map using real digital elevation mapping to build, like, if you're an actual farmer, you could build your farm. You can build your own tractors, your equipment. The game supports modeling programs. It gives you a map editor. It gives you equipment vehicle editor. You can script it however you want. So the game has endless potential. And that's why it's so addicting, but it's extremely hard to learn to do it well. And that's another thing that keeps me at it is, being who I am in my profession and my education, I like the challenge of learning something new and trying to master it. And this game is literally, I've only seen a few people actually master the whole modding and scripting component of it. It's people like BM Modding, those guys that brought you the Crone Baylor, and people like Durrell and Decker that make these tremendous game-changing scripts. Those are the people that truly mastered this game and really changed it. The modeling is one thing. Custom UV, manual UV mapping, people that know how to texture like giants. I doubt that I'll ever get to that point, but I'm to the point where I can really build and script whatever I want and tailor my game. Like if my game needs something, I have the ability to build it now and texture it and script it, and it works great. And everyone has that option. And without that option, this game, if this game was set up like it was for consoles for the longest time, where you can't mod, you just have to deal with the in-game, I would play it for maybe an hour and I would never play it again. So it's that ability to personalize the game, personalize your crops, the crop textures, the terrain, everything. You can literally put your finger and touch everything. So that's what keeps most of us playing this game. And there's really nothing else out there that comes remotely close. You can say, well, Truck Sim, yeah, well, Truck Sim is very basic. It's not as open. It doesn't have as open world as this game. It doesn't. It's very closed. It's not as sandboxy. The economy, everything is extremely basic compared to how much is going on with this game. I mean, you can literally like change and alter almost every aspect of this game. To the trees, to the ground, to the elevations, to vehicles, to literally everything. Yields, prices, great demands, sell point, everything. Unfortunately, when I was making my Mendako 85-foot Land Rover, I ran into an issue where I had more than 6 components and I had more than 10 wheels, and the game wouldn't, the game was like, no, we don't know what to do. So I kind of had to like get tricky and make like some static objects to keep the rollers if I wanted to have flex. So I really hope that they address that issue. So I'm starting to get more interested in large air seeders. After seeing John Deere and Bulgard and all that stuff, they make a 100-foot air seeder, 1,300 bushel tanks. So yeah, I can make them. I can model them. No problem. That's not the issue. The issue is the game won't allow me to in-game them because it has far more than 10 wheels, and it would have far more than 6 components. It would be 6 components at the minimum. So a lot of equipment that Canadians and Americans use, out on the prairies or on the flats, a lot of those larger equipments, even the wheel-rich, 85-foot cultivator, those aren't even possible. You can model them, but you just can't in-game them. So I don't know why they put on those silly limitations. I hope they remove them and really open up the ability to, go back to 13, where I could put, 100 components and 12, 14 wheels. I don't know why there's a limitation to that. So that'd be great. Otherwise, that would be just really another blow of disappointment if they keep that kind of restriction, and there's really no need for that restriction. I mean, you build a component, you build a mod that, you know, polygon counts don't really matter anymore because the game it caches everything in memory. Once it loads once, it's, you know, forever, like, loads really quickly. The same with maps, so that was something that was different from 13. But I mean, everyone pretty much has a really good computer that plays this game that is really active and into mods and stuff like that. You know, everyone's running a GTX 9 something, and it's going to be a new 10 series card or a Radeon equivalent. You know, we're all rocking 60 frames per second with highly detailed mods and increased clip distances like this, and you know. Then you run into a silly thing like, yeah, you can't have more than 10 wheels and 6 components. Like, okay, why? And I guess they're bringing in some old equipment, some European equipment that was in 13, and they never included back in 15. Whatever reason it is, maybe it's a license issue. I don't know. Maybe that company wants to come back in. I don't know what the story is. Don't really care. Never really used it in the first place. However, they have Horsch. They have like the Horsch grain card, so I'm surprised they didn't get more in depth with like Horsch Anderson. Maybe it's coming down the road as a DLC, but you know, Horsch Anderson makes some large 64-foot air seeders. You know, they look great. You know, simple, sleek design. They're already, you know, licensed with Horsch, so I was kind of surprised that I haven't seen a Horsch Anderson air seeder yet. You know, they did like a Russian. They did some DLCs in 15, so hopefully they get back to what they did in 13 with that titanium. They release some more American large farm equipment, because you know, you go on threads like FSUK, and you know, a lot of the European farmers, they want to farm virtually like a large US or Canadian farmer or Australian. You know, they like to use the big equipment, big planters, big cultivators, you know, so I think it would be smart on their part to get back to a more you know, North American or Australian DLC pack. So I'm pretty sure we can expect that in the next couple of years. And another thing that I'm pretty sure is guaranteed is we'll probably never ever see John Deere in this game. There's already New Holland in case. I think it's pretty much guaranteed, sealed. The fate is sealed that John Deere will never be in this game officially by Giants, because one, John Deere has their own kind of computer farming games. Not that great, but they have them. And their direct competitors already been in this game forever. I mean, honestly, I think it would be a great marketing move for John Deere to be part of it. I mean, but for whatever reason, maybe Giants isn't willing to pay license fees that Deere is requesting, or maybe Deere's not even open to talks about license talks. Who really knows? But at this point, if it's not even close, you had Case first, then you have Case in New Holland. You'll probably see Versatile at some point. I would expect Versatile. You got AGCO. You could probably place money on seeing Versatile in probably the next 4 years. The next 2 versions of it at some point. I think that's very probable. John Deere, I don't think you'll ever see that unless it's by um, a modder that plays the game. But there'll probably never be an official licensed Deere product in this, which is unfortunate. But what can you do? Because I don't have any hard data or statistics, but let's just say that, you know, they sell 5 million plus copies of this game. That's a tremendous amount of, you know, advertising, and I don't know, you can make Giants make your John Deere models look way better than Case of New Holland. I don't know. It's just kind of funny how companies go about that. Even Kloss, you don't see them, or Krone. I think Krone, all there is, they just recently put in that forage harvester, but there's no Kloss like a Jaguar or anything like that. You know, there's no fence. Whatever. Maybe as Giants progresses and they get a little bit larger capital and market or like more users, maybe they go to a different publisher. I don't know. No one really knows. But I definitely wouldn't bet on seeing John Deere anytime soon. But I know companies, they'll like kind of revamp their mission statement, their core focus. You know, look at John Deere right now. John Deere is trying to position itself with building larger air seeder, you know, the 76 foot, you know, try to market themselves with Bogart or Seedhawk or, you know, what have you. Because right now, as far as I know, they're not really known as a leader in that kind of market, so they're trying to position, make new tech. Same with seeders, same with sprayers, by absorbing the Hagee partnership. You look at, you know, not related to farm sim, but Lego used to just do plastic, then they got into Technic and robotics, and then video games, and so they're like, I don't know if they lost their ass or if they're doing that anymore, but like companies, they always kind of, they might see an opportunity where they can capture market share, and they'll fork in a lot of money and try to, you know, whatever it is. So I owned, it was like John Deere Farmer or something like that was the video game back when I was in middle school or something like that. I don't know, and it was total shit. Even Sim Farm by, what is it, Maxis? You know, the people that make the Sims and SimCity and stuff like that. You know, they pretty much like they were one and done with that, and that was a really fun game. But I think the only way you'll see John Deere in a farming simulator game, whatever it is if they completely like eliminate that from their company. But I mean, they have what? They have forestry, they have agriculture, construction. I don't know what other kind of video games they have, but if they get rid of all video games and stuff like that, then I think the odds of seeing it in something like this has just went up. Because video games are huge now. I mean, you look at universities. Universities are now offering scholarships for video gamers, like hardcore gamers. Like, you can get a scholarship to a school for playing video games. I mean, it's not common. It's only a few isolated areas, but like, is becoming more accepted in today's society, that people are, you have 40, 50-year-olds that are playing video games. That never used to be the thing. And they're becoming so realistic, and it's such a huge market, and it's driving computer hardware. They're just so closely intertwined, and they're driving video games, they're driving monitor development and display, and so it's all kind of evolving together, and they're all kind of pushing one another, and even CPUs. It's kind of an interesting time to be in the involved, or actively engaged in seeing what's going on with computer hardware development, software development, monitor development, display development. One thing I think that's kind of behind is accessories like your joysticks and steering wheels, and controllers and stuff like that. You see the same stuff that's been around for years and years and years. And it's good, but you just don't see a whole lot of innovation or new product development going on there as these games develop. But you have huge conventions now, YouTube live streaming events on new games, new game developments at this E3, and it's definitely going to be exciting to see how not just this game, but all games and graphic engines and GPUs, and how everything develops over like the next 5 years. It's going to be interesting to see how everything progresses. And even like me, as in my my training as a dentist, I see like video game and graphics and rendering and software development and 3D modeling and rendering. That's a huge aspect of dentistry right now. 3D digital dentistry. It's huge. And it was, CEREC and Sirona and Galileo 3D imaging. It's incredible. And it's becoming more and more powerful, more and more affordable. And so our demands and expectations as consumers and players are just increasing. Like people my age, that are in their mid to late 20s, we grew up with really terrible video games, like horrendous graphics, simple, and then just in the last 5 years you got games like Division, Call of Duty, Battlefields. We grew up on PlayStation 1, Super Nintendo, so every year our jaw is dropping, our eyes are being lit up with like progress, and the new 4K monitors and how everything works. Like kids that are just starting out at this level, like their bar is set so high that that there's going to be a huge influx of demand, because say what you want, but kids these days, they're super instant gratification driven. So like they're going to be harassing these companies like none other to meet their instant gratification demands. So, which is great. That's the only time I'm going to say that's great, because I'm going to directly benefit from that. But it's a very exciting time for us, the consumers, and going forward, it's only going to get better. And I think companies, as they try to maintain their position and maintain their market share, they're going to have to really be more receptive to consumer feedback, because there's just too many other options. There's too many other companies looking to get a piece of the pie. And so there really wasn't that when it comes to farm sim. And there's been this one company, Giants, that has a huge monopoly over it. They're the only game that really has a good product compared to what else is available. What else is there? Just like Professional Farmer or something, you know, nothing else even remotely stands a chance. You know, so, however, this new company that's making Cattle's and Crop, I do believe their Giants is going to be concerned, rightfully so, because it does look promising. I don't really have a whole lot of expectations of it to be, you know, amazing as its first generation game, first version, whatever you want to call it, but as years progress and they make new updates to it, I think that there's going to be a really intense rivalry, and I'm excited for that. Should be interesting. I just bought my 970 like a year ago, and then they come out with a 1070 or 1080, and it's like twice as powerful and uses less power, and you got this G-Sync with monitors now, so it's like whatever. I probably won't update my graphics card till next year when they come out with the next generation graphics. Because I really have no reason to update right now. I wonder what we're at for bales. We're coming up to our last couple passes here in this field. Then I'm gonna have to go back to merging. But you can see our sunflowers. Oh my God, sunflowers in FS15. Yeah, that's right. Although, apparently the heads of the sunflowers are supposed to follow the sun as it rises and sets, you know, east-west. So that will be actually rather interesting, how that works out. Hopefully adding new fruit types to maps isn't extremely complicated. But I don't really know any other crop that would do that besides sunflower. But if they're implementing soybeans as a default crop, that's great. So. I remember when I had my PlayStation 1. And I had Grand Theft Auto, like one of the first Grand Theft Auto games. Compared to what that first Grand Theft Auto was, compared to what is it now, GTA 5. It's like, that's what I'm talking about, progress. As these companies like Rockstar, as graphics cards evolve, as Motherboard and CPUs evolve, and you know, the game, you know, the memory, and it can cache more, and monitors will show, you know, every little detail. Between that first one and GT, that's what, maybe like 10 years, 12 years? And how different it is. Even Call of Duty, I mean, I thought Call of Duty 3 when I got it I had Call of Duty 2, and then I got Call of Duty 3 on my 360 way back when. I think I was like in high school maybe, I don't remember. And then I thought that was great, and then you look at the graphics now and the gameplay and how fluid it is and how real the characters look. It's like, man, my childhood sucked. I was robbed. I would love to be a kid now. It'd be great. Like, if I ever have kids, they're gonna be spoiled. I imagine it's gonna be hard to kick them outside to go play. You know, a lot of the people I talk to, they have kids, you know, their dads, they have kids, and if dad's sitting on the computer playing video games, what are the chances he's gonna kick his kid out? So, whatever. I remember in high school, my physics professor was obsessed with playing Halo. You know, this 45-year-old guy that was obsessed and like I remember it was like AP physics or something like that. It was an advanced physics class we were taking, and we finished up. We took the AP, the what is it called, college placement exams or whatever. And we all placed, got 4s or 5s, and got college credit. And we had like 2 weeks left of the school year with nothing else to do. And so we just basically brought in our 360s and had like Halo tournaments with a couple TVs, and it was hilarious. So that was my high school experience. I mean, there was only 145 people in my graduating class, so I mean, we can kind of get away with that. So, okay guys, put in your votes now before I turn on the HUD hider. What do you think the total bale count is for this field? I'm going to put it around field 10 was 46, and this field is, oh my god, I don't really know off the top of my head. I'm guessing this is probably 3 times that size, maybe. So you're probably looking at 120, 130 bales off this field. So total bale count would probably be around 170, 180. So Jacob is saying 120. Ryan's saying 140. I'm saying 130, which would mean our bale total would be 170, 176, 153, 152. He's gonna be that guy. 134. Give you guys a few more minutes to lock in your answers here, because I have no idea. We're gonna do this reveal and find out. 152. There's 48 people watching, so I'll wait for a couple more people to do some inputs here. 146. Spin tires in FS15. I've never played spin tires. I've seen videos of it. It looks incredible. That's kind of what their CGI trailer looked like. I do fully expect this game to eventually get to that CGI kind of level. I mean, look at spin tires. Look at all these other games with, you know, the different kind of engines. I totally think, I mean, it might not be this one and it might not be the next one, but whenever they update their game engine, which will probably be probably 3 years, you know, FS, what would that be, 19, you're probably going to be getting closer to that, but I don't think it will be that. You know, maybe in 5 years, 5-6 years, it'll get to something like that. Depends on if their competition could put their toes over the fire and really put pressure. So we got 146, 128, 160, 160, 147, 117. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and reveal. I'm expecting it to be close to 176, which would be 130. Oh! Wow! I just called that. 176. I win. I beat you all. So that came out to 130 bales. Anyone else close? 128 George Mills was close. No one guessed 130. I was the only one. That's funny. What are the odds? It's exact on the nose. 176. That's sweet. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but you can see we're pretty low on funds here at 3,400. We got kind of our sad, droopy sunflowers, pixelated textures. So, that's one thing we can look forward to, is amazing looking soybeans and sunflowers. I mean, what I'm kind of curious what they're going to use for a header. are they just going to use the regular like corn header? That's what I'm doing. I'm using a corn header, but they make, people that harvest sunflowers, and a lot of them. I mean, that's one way that I guess. I mean, the amount it just gets. Sunflower destroys combines. This is from what I hear, and they make. You can use a corn header. I mean, it's not ideal, but they do make specific headers for sunflowers. So I would expect them to make a dedicated header for sunflowers. Um, Radishes? I don't know. I don't know about radishes. What else? Another thing is I'll probably end up doing it myself, but for the longest time, I wanted to. I was obsessed with watching potato harvest, like Idaho potato harvest on YouTube. Um, these people that have these large mergers and Sputnik mergers and lifters where they're merging 4 rows left and right, and then the main lifter is a 4 row. So you're basically lifting 12 rows of potatoes, and it looks awesome. And I don't really think they do that kind of scale in Europe. But if you could make potatoes with windrows, so you can merge it and then pick it up again. So that's one thing I'll probably end up doing on my own because I don't really see giants coming out with fantastically huge lifting equipment. The potato lifter they have now is like 1 row or 2 rows maybe. I don't know. So, but yeah, definitely. On I think it's the FSUK. They have like confirmed and rumored topic going on right now, and it's been confirmed that there's soybean and sunflower. Still, there's still a kind of unconfirmed rumors out there of other stuff. Like, oh yeah, and then another thing was like, you can lease or rent equipment or demo it before you buy it, which is sweet. And then part of the other game mode, it's just coming back to me now. You can if you don't own the field, there's kind of like a neighbor thing. You can like do work in that field. It's kind of like a mission. I'm assuming it's like a mission thing where you can like plow his field for X amount of money or like harvest his crop for X amount. You can do work for a neighbor, quote unquote. Kind of different kind of game mode, I guess it's called. But you can work on neighbors' fields that you don't actually own. So be interesting to see what kind of information comes out like that. But a lot of new features that I really wasn't expecting. Sounds really promising. A real good solid foundation for FS19. 15 was really good and much improved over 13. I'm assuming 15 will be much improved over 15, or 17 will be improved over 15. They're implementing a lot of new things that already exist, that modders have done. Think of that what you want, but now it's going to be part of the core game itself. So that takes a lot of the bug work and inconsistency out of third party. It's official. It's Giants is doing it. So that's great. New crops, new animals, new different kind of economy. I didn't hear any news on great demand prices, like fixed prices. That really pisses me off, and I'm sure it does other people. If you have a great demand and you sell one trailer load, the price plummets immediately after that first hour. So if you're going to have a great demand, either lock in that price, contract it in, or make sure the price doesn't go down until after the great demand. If it's, why is there a great demand for 16 hours if the price drops to nothing after the first hour? It doesn't really make sense to me, but hopefully they address that. I keep talking about lighting and light shaders. Sounds like they addressed that. To what extent, I have no idea. So I'm kind of skeptical on how improved that is. I mean, going from 13 to 15 was improved, as in the lights didn't lag the game. But now I want my lights to actual work like lights during the nighttime. So we'll see how that um, works out. When a new trailer's coming out, I have no idea. The release is end of October, so that's a couple months away. So I'm sure they'll drop a few more teasers here and there. Um, Probably going to be computer generated, whatever. So um, as for vehicles, I don't really care about the vehicles. That's like the bottom of my list. I'm more concerned about stuff that I and others really can't change easily. I mean, tractors, vehicles, there's plenty of people that can model that in script and texture. That's not hard to do. But I'd like to see things like if I walk over to this tractor, you know, like cattle and crops, the IC is built in. I want to be able to like open this door right now. Like just stand here. I want that to be part of the game. I want to like indoor sounds to be standard. I want like the windshield wiper to like work with rain. I want my monitor to like have more like display functions, not just a static decal. I want to see like I don't know, maybe like actual the implement on the monitor for like GPU. I don't know. Like there's so many different things that they can focus on besides vehicles. I mean, I get like why you would want more vehicles if you're playing on a console and you don't have the ability to have mods, but now they changed it. So now there's really no reason for them to keep on like pumping in vehicles. Like that's not the main concern here. The main concern is like scripting, LUA, growing that, developing that, making it more complex. Less, because right now it's pretty primitive, pretty basic. So that's. I don't really have a whole lot of expectations for 17, but what's been confirmed, it's great. How complex it is going to be, who really knows? But it's pretty cool that they're implementing some never before seen features in the game. I mean, the stuff exists already. Like there's a rental mod. I'm using it right now. There's bank mod. I can lease ground. I can do beef and pig and turkey. All these things. They already exist. It's nothing new, but it's new for the game, and it's going to be a standard. And I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of new core scripts available when they release script documentation. So I'm sure there's going to be a whole new list of possibilities for modders and scripters, because I'm sure they're going to be releasing a lot of new, never before seen LUA files whenever that is. So, anyways, I've been ranting on and on and on and bailing for over an hour now. Talk to you guys a little bit. I beat you all on the guess on the bales. Anyways, I'm not sure if you guys want. I have field 44 that I need to merge and bail. I'm not sure if you want to see another video like that. Say yay or nay to that. Otherwise, next video will probably be harvest with combines and stuff like that. So, thanks for watching.